wondering why the rich people loan money to invest and don't even pay off their loans more than they could normally do, although they have the money lying around? Well, check out today's video because I'll be showing you the method the rich and wealthy use to accumulate their wealth. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up you guys? Lukas here from xlwealth.com. Great that you joined in today because in today's video, I will be going through how the rich and wealthy accumulate their wealth even more by loaning money to invest. And of course, they don't even pay off their loans more than they need to, as according to their contracts. But before we go into that, of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button because that's the way how we can grow our community. And of course, if you haven't checked out my book yet, this is my latest book. Be sure to get a copy of yourself by clicking on the link in the description down below and get your own copy right now. Okay, let's get into the video. Now the first question is here, of course, why do we loan money? Now the interesting part is this, of course, you got to really understand like this. Okay, if I want to buy a certain car, I take a car loan. Why do we do that? The reason why we do that is we can leverage our money. So let's pretend that you have $10,000 on your bank account and you want to buy a car. Well, it's not going to be the most fanciest car, and most likely it's going to be a second-hand car. But the moment if you can loan money from the bank to buy that certain car, all of a sudden you could be able to buy that car of $40,000 maybe. That's because you can leverage your money in buying a certain product and increase your purchasing power. Now, I'll tell you this, if you buy a car using loaned money, it'll just decrease in value just faster and faster because the money that you loaned isn't used to increase the amount of money. And that is the difference between the rich and wealthy because they get a loan from the bank, for example, and with that money they can accumulate their own money and at the same time pay off the interest rates that the bank is asking from them. And that is the interesting part. You're just doing a deal with the bank and saying to the bank, you know what, I'll take your money and with that money I'm going to make more money, and at the same time you get your money payment back in, for example, 30 years time. Now, it's all nice to talk about whole products and such, but I think it's an easier idea if I just show you in an example. Let's pretend that you have $100,000 lying around. Yes, let's just pretend. That would be very nice if you would like take a look in your wallet, like, whoa, goodness, I got $100,000 lying around. I get it. Yes, it would be nice, but let's just pretend that, okay? And using that $100,000, you buy a property of $100,000. And of course, there are certain costs and expenses, but let's just pretend in this case for calculation-wise, each year, so it generates you $10,000 each year. Hey, it's not a bad idea, right? You get $10,000 on the actual investment of $100,000, which is actually means you get a return on your cash of 10% per year. And then of course, in 10 years time, you've gotten the whole principal back that you actually put in 10 years ago, which is not a bad idea. Hey, this is called a cash on cash return. It's a very great idea because, you know, you put in cash, you get more money. Hey, this is how you can grow money. But this is the example with only money of yours. Now we go into the example in which you actually leverage your money. Again, you're going to buy a property which is $100,000, but in most examples, 1/3 of the money, 1/3 of the amount needs to be a down payment. And in this case, it's very simple. $33,000 is your initial investment, meaning that the 2/3 of the amount, in this case, that's $67,000, that's the actual loan that you take from a bank. Now, okay, so this is your actual investment. You take a loan from $67,000. For this loan, you need to pay, you get an interest rate of 5% per year, meaning over the $67,000, 5% per year is $3,350 as interest payment on the loan. Okay, you're paying off your loan here, including the interest, is $3,350. Okay, if you have the $10,000 profit minus the interest payment, you still have $6,650 left in profit. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's like a lot less compared to the other one. Correct, but you gotta see it like this. The actual input of your amount of money is less as well. Here, you put in $100,000 to get $10,000 a year, which is a 10% return, which is still not a bad idea. But in this case, take a look at this. You only put in $33,000 and you still get $6,650 back per year. And yes, if you do the calculations right, you should at least like this video. But next to that, this is a 20% return. And that is interesting. All of a sudden, leveraging your money can double your return in a year. And even if that you do have $100,000 lying around, you can do this times 3. Then of course that's why you get the $100,000 back. So with the same $100,000, you can times $33,000 times 3, you get the $100,000. Same goes for the income as well. The rental income will also be times 3, which is $19,950 per year compared to the $10,000. Now you tell me which one is more interesting. Now, yes, the first question that I get from many of my clients who say, yeah, but Lucas, here I have a risk of 3 people there. I've got 3 homes that I have to take care of. Here I only have to take care of 1. I get that. You're completely right. But what if this person moves out of your home and you can't find a new one? All of a sudden, you've got a home that is completely empty and you still need to pay the expenses. In this case, I need to have 3 families moving out, and all 3 families need to stay out of my home to be able to be in the same situation as the other one. But hey, if we're always talking about problems and risks, and well, that's not how the rich and wealthy accumulate their wealth. It is always because you're taking a risk, but you have to research the situation before as well. This is one example, okay? Let's continue with the second reason why the rich and wealthy loan their money to invest. That is, of course, taxes. Taxes are so interesting. So why are taxes something that you really need to understand? Well, each country has their own tax rules, even on capital like this. The moment you understand your taxes, there's where you can get all the benefits. Taxes are, necessary to have this country running because, somebody's got to pay for all the infrastructure and such, which most likely is the citizens. But of course, there's a reason why the rich and wealthy become richer, whereas the poor stay poor. That's because the rich people know how to make use of the taxes in their own benefits because the rules are there to help you out. Take a look at this. Now let's just pretend. So I'm going to use the example of my own country to apply on this example. Now you can use that in your country as well. Let me know down below in the description what country you're from, because the Netherlands has their own rules, but the US also has their own rules. That's okay. They're all kind of similar, but I'm going to use the specific rules here in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, we've got some tax platforms, or how do you call that? I'll just show you an example, okay? That's easier. So the moment you have up to $30,000 in capital, the government says 0% of tax. You don't need to pay anything over that because, that's yours to keep. We already charge you when you buy stuff, which is including VAT. So yes, we already charge you enough. So up to $30,000, we do not charge you any money. The second plate is from $30,000 up to $70,000. The government says, you know what? Hey, you're accumulating a little bit of more wealth. You know what? We'll charge you 1% over this amount of money. 1%, just, for the idea. Now comes the interesting part. So the moment you have $70,000 in capital up to $1 million, then the government says, hey, you're getting a little bit more capital here, so we're going to charge you more taxes. We'll charge you 5% of taxes over this amount of money. So all of a sudden, the government says, yeah, now we see you growing in wealth, so now we're going to take some more money off you. And yes, what happens after 1 million? Nobody knows. But okay, so these are the 3 plates, okay? So let's just use this example, okay? So in this $100,000 property that you bought using cash on cash, the first $30,000 is charged $0. That's nice. Then, of course, $30,000 up to $70,000, your property is still worth more than that, so that over $40,000, they charge you 1% of tax, which in this case, $400. So the remaining amount, so from $70,000 to $100,000, which is in this case $30,000, you'll be charged 5%. So in this case, that's $1,500. If you add that up, it's $1,900 in a year that you need to pay taxes. Now you might be thinking, hey, I only got $10,000 in profit, and oh man, $1,900 is taxes. So all of a sudden, the whole return on investment decreases like that because, yeah, you got to pay taxes. Now the moment we go to the other example, I'll show you this. Again, you bought a property of $100,000, but you got a loan of $67,000. Now the government says that, hey, it's going to be deducted because that's not your money. So the actual investment that you did is $33,000. Okay, let's just use the exact same example on the leverage money. The first $30,000 is, of course, as you can see, in this case, $0. And the next amount is, hey, $30,000 to $70,000. Your actual investment was $33,000. which is in this case only $3,000. So on $3,000, you'll be charged 1% of taxes, which is, yes, 1% on $3,000 is only $30. Meaning the amount of tax that you pay on owning this property using leverage money is $30 per year compared to $1,900 if you were to purchase it yourself completely. The next question that students do tend to ask me, and if you're not a student yet, I suppose that you'll have the same question here. But like you said, Lucas, you can leverage the money. So what about if I do this times 3? Because then I end up with the same amount of money, right? And the answer is yes, correct. If you do that times 3, then yes, the amount of money is the same as this one, meaning your capital will be $100,000, meaning your taxes will be $1,900 per year. And then you're like, yeah, but isn't that the same then? Good question. But hey, didn't you forget? The income of one property on this end, $6,650, which is also times 3. All of a sudden, $19,950 on income compared to $10,000. Here, if you deduct $1,900 of it, I still have $18,000 left. In this case, it's only $8,000. This is why the rich and wealthy leverage their money. They loan money, they just pay off the amounts that they need to, and in the meantime, benefit from the tax rules, they benefit from leveraging the money. There's one more thing. Why so many people reach out to me saying like, Lucas, why doesn't the bank do this? The bank is just loaning you money for 5% per year. That's not a way to make money, is it? And that's the interesting part. Let me ask you this question. What business is the bank in? And what business are you in? You're in the business of real estate. You look up real estate deal. The bank doesn't do that. You do that for the bank. Now you might be thinking, in this case, you're not leveraging your money. You're using cash straight on to buy property. In this case, you're leveraging your money only once. Now you might be thinking, yeah, but I'm doing it 3 times. No, your $33,000 in this case is only leveraged once. Meaning, the moment you put in $33,000, you can get $67,000 from the bank to be able to buy a property of $100,000. The moment you have your next $33,000, you can get another loan from the bank. So every time, if you think very carefully, every time you can only leverage your money once. And now comes the interesting thing. You can make money using leverage money. The bank does something else. The bank says, you know what? I'll loan you the money if you show me a good plan that says, hey, you're making a profit on the money that I loaned you. So the bank says, well, you know, we're into risk management. If I take care of the risk that you take with the money, I'll loan you the money. If the risk that you're going to take is too dangerous, I'm not going to loan you the money. It's not going to happen. This is the whole idea of the bank. Now the bank doesn't leverage the money only once. Let's pretend that the bank has $100,000 lying around in cash. They can leverage that several times, up to 10 times the amount. So yes, they're not getting 5% on you alone using the $100,000. They can get up to 10 people 5% per year. Every year they get 5% on 10 people over their $100,000. This is how the bank makes their money. And this is why the bank doesn't do this. They don't need to, because they can leverage their own money multiple times. And this is the interesting part as well. The moment I don't pay up my mortgages, I don't pay up my loans back to the bank will just say, you know what, Lucas? Hey, we loaned you the money, but we actually had an agreement. If you don't pay up, I'll just take your property and sell it off. That's how they actually secured their money. And if they do that 10 times over the same amount of money, well, there you have it. All of a sudden, they always have the upper hand. Either it's they get interest rate payment from you by doing nothing for the coming 30 years. They get 5% each year. Think about that. And this is why the bank is not in this business. This bank is in risk management. If you show a risk-free or almost risk-free business plan to say, hey, Mr. Bank, I have a good deal here and I want to do this deal, then the bank tells you, you know what, mister? Take my money, go make some more money out of it. That's the whole business of the bank. This is why the bank is not in this business. And this is how the rich and wealthy make their own money. And the bank, you don't need to worry about the bank, because that's how the bank makes their money as well. This is the reason why you should leverage your own money as well to benefit from the taxes, to make your own money grow faster. Thank you very much for watching today's video, of course. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you want to be notified every time a new video comes out, be sure to hit that notification bell as well. Thank you very much for watching. And oh yeah, and of course, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book yet, be sure to get your own copy down below in the description. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.